Kumbhakas. 36. All the three bandhas, namely Jalandhara, Udyana and Mula, should be observed in Kumbhaka, retention of breath after full inhalation or restraint following complete exhalation, as mentioned later. The bandhas are like safety valves which should be kept shut during the practice of Kumbhakas. 37. Thorough mastery of inhalation, Puraka, and exhalation, Rechaka, is essential before any attempt is made to learn Antara Kumbhaka, retention following inhalation. 38. Bahya Kumbhaka, restraint following exhalation, should not be tried until Antara Kumbhaka has become natural. 39. During the practice of Kumbhaka, there is a tendency to draw in air as well as to tighten and loosen the diaphragm and abdominal organs for the sake of increasing the period of retention. This is unconscious and unintentional. Care should be taken to avoid it. 40. If it is found difficult to hold the breath, Kumbhaka, after each inhalation or exhalation, do some cycles of deep breathing and then practice Kumbhakas. For instance, 3 cycles of deep breathing may be followed by 1 cycle of Kumbhaka. Then there should be another 3 cycles of deep breathing followed by a second cycle of Kumbhaka, and so on. 41. If the rhythm of inhalation or exhalation is disturbed by holding the breath, lessen the duration of Kumbhaka. 42. Persons suffering from eye or ear trouble, like glaucoma and pus in the ear, should not attempt to hold the breath. 43. Sometimes constipation occurs in the initial stages following upon the introduction of Kumbhaka. This is temporary and will disappear in due course. 44. The normal rate of breaths per minute is 15. This rate increases when the body is upset by indigestion, fever, cold and cough, or by emotions like fear, anger or lust. The normal rate of breathing is 21,600 breaths inhaled and exhaled every 24 hours. The yogi measures his span of life not by the number of days, but of breaths. Since breathing is lengthened in pranayama, its practice leads to longevity. 45. Continuous practice of pranayama will change the mental outlook of the practitioner and reduce considerably the craving of his senses for worldly pleasures like smoking, drinking and sexual indulgence. 46. In the practice of pranayama, the senses are drawn inwards, and in the silence of the Kumbhaka, the aspirant hears his inner voice calling, "Look within. The source of all happiness is within." This also prepares him for the next stage of yoga, pratyahara, which leads to freedom from the domination and tyranny of the senses. 47. Since the eyes are kept closed throughout the practice of pranayama, the passage of time is noted by the mental repetition, japa, of a sacred word or name. This repetition of the sacred words or names is the seed, bija, planted in the yogi's mind. This seed grows and makes him fit for dhyana or concentration, the 6th stage of yoga. Ultimately, it produces the fruit of samadhi, where there is experience of full consciousness and supreme joy, where the yogi merges with the maker of the universe and feels what he can never express yet cannot entirely conceal. Words fail to convey the experience adequately, for the mind cannot find words with which to describe it. It is a feeling of that peace which passes all understanding. Bandhas, nadis and chakras. In order to follow the techniques of pranayama, it is necessary to know something about bandhas, nadis and chakras. Bandha means bondage, joining together, fettering or catching hold of. It is also a posture in which certain organs or parts of the body are contracted and controlled. Nadi is a tubular channel in the body through which energy flows. Chakras are wheels or circles. Those in the body are the flywheels in the body machinery. When electricity is generated, it is necessary to have transformers, conductors, fuses, switches and insulated wires to carry the power to its destination, as without these the electricity generated would be lethal. When prana is made to flow in the yogi's body by the practice of pranayama, it is equally necessary for him to employ bandhas to prevent the dissipation of energy and to carry it to the right quarters without causing damage elsewhere. Without the bandhas, prana is lethal. The three main bandhas, which are important for pranayama, are 1. Jalandhara bandha, 2. Udyana bandha and 3. Emula bandha. The first one which the yogi should master is Jalandhara. Ala means a net, or web, a lattice or a mesh. In Jalandhara, the neck and throat are contracted and the chin is made to rest on the chest in the notch between the collarbones and at the top of the breastbone. It is mastered while doing Sarvangasana and its cycles, for here also the chin is pressed against the sternum. The Jalandhara bandha regulates the flow of blood and prana to the heart, the glands in the neck and the head together with the brain. If pranayama is performed without Jalandhara bandha, pressure is immediately felt on the heart, behind the eyeballs and in the ear cavity, and the head feels dizzy. Jalandhara bandha is essential in the three processes of pranayama, namely Puraka, inhalation, Rechaka, exhalation, and Kumbhaka, retention. Udyana means flying up. The process in Udyana bandha is to lift the diaphragm high up the thorax and to pull in the abdominal organs against the back towards the spine. It is said that through Udyana bandha, the great bird prana is forced to fly up through the Susumna Nadi, the main channel for the flow of nervous energy, which is situated inside the spinal column. It is said that Udyana is the best of bandhas, and he who constantly practices it as taught by his guru or master becomes young again. It is said to be the lion that kills the elephant named Death. It should be performed only during Bahya Kumbhaka following Rechaka, that is, during the interval between complete exhalation and effarish inhalation when breathing is suspended. It exercises the diaphragm and abdominal organs. The cavity created by the lift of the diaphragm gives a gentle massage to the muscles of the heart, thereby toning it. Udyana bandha should never be attempted during Antara Kumbhaka, that is the interval between complete inhalation and the start of exhalation when breath is retained. Otherwise it will strain the heart and diaphragm and the eyes will puff out. Mula means root, source, origin or cause, basis or foundation. Mula bandha is the region between the anus and the scrotum. By contracting this region, apna vayu, the prana in the lower abdomen, whose course is downwards, is made to flow up to unite with the prana vayu, which has its seat in the region of the chest. Mula bandha should be attempted first in Antara Kumbhaka, retention after inhalation. The region of the lower abdomen between the navel and the anus is contracted towards the spine and pulled up towards the diaphragm. In Udyana bandha, the entire region from the anus to the diaphragm up to the sternum is pulled back towards the spine and lifted up. But in Mula bandha, the whole lower abdominal area between the anus and the navel is contracted, pulled back to the spine and lifted up towards the diaphragm. The practice of contracting the anal sphincter muscles, the Aswini mudra, helps one to master Mula bandha. Aswa means a horse. This mudra, a sealing posture, is so called because it suggests the staling of a horse. It should be learnt while doing various asanas, especially Tadasana, Sirsasana, Sarvangasana, Urdhva Dhanursana, Ustrasana and Paschimottanasana.